Hello. Thank you for taking the time to watch this short video which hopefully illustrates the impact of the recent proposal to build an additional 4-bedroom 2-story dwelling to be situated in the rear garden of number 27, along Church Lane, overlooking Vicarage Meadows in Mirfield. Here is the submitted proposal which all surrounding neighbouring parties should have received a copy of in the post, around the 8th of February 2021. Inside 3D software the plan has been imported to a relatively accurate scale as you can see from the corresponding measurements taken here, and here. The houses depicted on this plan are not accurate to scale, as you can see the extension at number 27A, shown in green, has the real measurements of 12.2 meters in length and 6.1 meters wide. You can see here that the plan is very misleading. The drawing underneath makes the houses look a lot shorter. The plan is missing important features such as this extension and this balcony, which both need to be accounted when considering privacy. Let's look at how the privacy and outlook of the surrounding houses would be affected by the proposed new build. As you can see here, the distance from the right side of number 27A to any other property is currently 22 meters. This would be reduced to just 7 meters. To the rear of number 21 and 23 Vicarage Meadows, the house have an approximate distance of 33 meters from any other building, reduced to just 17 meters. The impact to privacy is obvious from the following vantage points. 29 Church Lane, 27A Church Lane, 25 Church Lane, 19 Vicarage Meadows, 21 Vicarage Meadows, 23 Vicarage Meadows, 25 Vicarage Meadows, and 24 Vicarage Meadows. As you can see from all the previous viewpoints, invasion of privacy is of great concern. The new build is likely to tower above houses across Vicarage Meadows, directly overlooking homes. Neighbouring 27A Church Lane would be really affected too. The side elevation is clearly imposing on privacy. The obscure positioning is not sufficient to screen from overlooking windows. Fences and shrubbery can only provide so much. If we look at the profile view here, you can see that the footprint for the building is positioned on a steep decline, with the rear of the property to be substantially taller, consistent with the height of properties along Church Lane, rather than following with the relevant closer side of Vicarage Meadows. With the building in such an obscure position, the aesthetics of the surrounding properties will be compromised, devaluing surrounding homes and destroying the character and charm which has been unaltered for a great many years. The property jutted out from the existing skyline. 27A and 29 Church Lane both feature large 180-degree sweeping panoramic outlooks, the sense of open space likely to be the main key feature and the reason their houses are likely to be so desirable. Intruding into this outlook would again negatively impact the houses and residents. The outlook to the rear of Vicarage Meadows currently benefits from the sense of space. Number 21, for example, currently has a 40-meter gap between any other houses directly to the rear, exclusive from any other neighboring houses. This would be reduced to just 17 meters at the closest point. The new build would also dominate the volume of available free space, again affecting appeal and value of the property. Shade and reduced light is also a very real concern. As you can see here, during the morning the sun casts a shadow on 21A and later right across number 27A. Moisture levels in the surrounding land and building will increase affected gardens. It's not only the direct light from the sun, but the overall reduced bounced light which will be affected during the whole day. This in turn results in increased use of internal lighting at the expense of the residents and to the environment. Altering the natural flow of surface water is also likely to lead to waterlogging of the surrounding grounds. Here you can see that most of the surface water runoff from higher ground usually collects at the bottom of the decline shown here in blue, where water runoff is slowly absorbed into the thick layer of clay soil. Adding the additional groundwork and foundations for the new build would likely alter the natural pattern of flow. The displaced surface runoff is likely to expand around the sides of the new property, pushing the excess groundwater closer to 27A Church Lane and 21 and 23 Vicarage Meadows at the lower levels, and over time could compromise existing foundations and gardens. Increased shade and moisture levels as a result of the new build would also contribute to greater volumes of surface water collecting. The residents on both Church Lane and Vicarage Meadows are likely to have purchased their properties on the basis that the partitioning land is future-proof, already considered as fully developed and safe from any further housing developments. Overlaying Google Maps, you can see the two sides of existing houses follow a consistent linear pattern with equal spacing between. Note to the residents as the green corridor, its land full of mature established gardens rich with wildlife, many with council-protected trees which contribute to the reassurance that the land would remain unchanged in the future. Privacy and the surrounding gardens are considered to be the key features of the two streets, and the reason both are considered to be in prestigious locations within Mirfield. This is reflected in the purchase price of the houses, which is significantly higher. Agreeing to this planning application would unfairly devalue existing surrounding houses and likely lead to a new succession of further similar proposals to build more housing along the rear gardens of Church Lane. This development falls under the government's garden-grabbing policy, which addresses the issue of building additional homes on gardens at the expense of others and surrounding habitat. The residents have formed an active group where the latest sightings within the green corridor can be catalogued. The corridor not only provides great benefit to wildlife but also to our well-being too, and quality of air. Many similar areas within Mirfield have been lost due to overdevelopment. Audible sound privacy is another great concern for the surrounding residents. The proposed driveway and car park for the new build is to be substantially closer. Currently at number 27A Church Lane, car engines and human traffic levels are barely heard from the distance, measuring 23 meters. With the proposed new build, this distance would be reduced to just 2.5 meters, with increased decibels persistent during both day and night from both traffic and people. The surrounding properties at 21 and 23 would also likely find that they are within an audible range of conversations taking place from the proposed overlooking balcony or terrace illustrated here. 21 Vicarage Meadows, currently positioned 33 meters from any rear neighboring audible sound. Reduced to 16 meters, sound privacy would be significantly less. Again, residents originally purchased their properties with sound privacy in mind, which is another key feature. The houses are currently sensibly spaced apart. Sufficient distance to have their own quiet private space at the rear, away from neighboring audible sounds. The new build will very much compromise this feature, again negatively affecting all. The planned driveway needs an additional exit point onto Church Lane. During darker months and during the night, there will be a noticeable amount of spilled light from the car headlights of departing vehicles as they progress up the gradual incline and turn left onto Church Lane. This will affect number 32 and possibly 27A. The intentions to build a driveway through the woodlands situated at the side of 27 Church Lane continues to raise concern with many residents. The plan describes the mass removal of 13 mature trees, some of which carry tree protection orders. Described as decaying, however, do look to be very much still alive. The underlying ground areas and canopy are sanctuary for many species of wildlife. The location at present is sheltered, quiet and away from continuous human intervention and traffic. Currently the existing trees provide a natural preventative against waterlogging to the lower ground levels, drawing moisture into their roots. With increased risk of flooding in the future, it's vital soakaway areas like these are preserved. Hard leveling a new driveway would reduce rainwater saturation in large portions of intersecting root protection areas for the remaining trees. Existing trees would likely suffer from drought in the warmer summer months and die as a result. As you can see here highlighted in purple, much of the ground is already covered by a tarmac and housing. From neighboring 27A. The addition of a new driveway would further reduce absorption levels, rendering the ground incapable of supporting tree growth. Excess rainwater which falls on the proposed driveway would flow down towards the lower levels to the rear of surrounding properties, where evidence of waterlogging is already an issue, and in turn would likely affect surrounding drainage, moisture levels and foundations to surrounding properties. The government's recent COVID-19 recovery plan Build Back Better highlights the importance of sustainability, setting out new legislation to further protect our valuable environment and ecosystems, promoting cleaner, fresher air, a better sense of well-being, whilst reducing carbon footprint, using the COVID epidemic as a catalyst to drive change. For many of us, in the future, life will never return to how it was previously. Daily commuting to work, schooling, university and weekly shopping on such frequent basis is likely to be a thing of the past. As a result, increased time spent working and living alongside family at home would be the new normal. With this in mind, to build on the proposed area of land which provides such benefit, clean air, natural urban partitioning, wildlife and sense of well-being just to cater for one new dwelling goes against the government's own recent Build Back Better campaign. It's unfortunate but obvious that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, many surrounding businesses, high street shops, and restaurants will be finished. This in turn will leave a trail of derelict premises and free surplus land. The government has proposed to fast-track and regenerate subsequent areas to provide additional housing. If developments like these are to be made available at priority, it doesn't make sense to intrude on our diminishing mature green spaces and gardens. We are likely to find ourselves in a new world soon, surrounded by increased digital frequency waves, drones and electronic devices everywhere. We urge Kirklees Council to appreciate that technology and our population is at a new pinnacle milestone, and so any future planning application should reflect this. We need to hold on and save these spaces, because once they're gone for good. Some of the surrounding homeowners would like to formally invite the Planning Council team to come and view the proposed site, whilst conforming to social distancing rules. As mentioned earlier in this video, the scale of the submitted plan is not accurate, and so subsequently it wouldn't be appropriate to come to a decision when it affects so many residents. Thank you for your